All right, he is the newest news correspondent for The Daily Show. He's hilarious. You're going to love him. Put your hands together for Josh Johnson.
Okay. I don't know if y'all heard about that dude in Wisconsin that faked his death and maybe moved to Europe. If you haven't heard about this, great. Okay, so basically, what we know is that supposedly there was a man who faked his death and might be in Europe right now. And he has a family, right? 3 kids, a wife, and everything. And one thing we usually don't do as men is give a man the credit that we owe him for being the new bottom. Like the new lowest common denominator. Like as men, we need this man. We need him, all right? You know anytime you mess up as a man, when there's a man near you who has messed up worse, you'd be like, hey, I could be that guy. You know, next time you forget a birthday or something, be like, baby, look, I'm sorry I messed up. But you know what I didn't do is fake my death and move to Europe. Some people do that. I love you and I would never. If I die, it'll be for real. I'm a good man. When I die, it will be of an ulcer or something. You know what I mean? Something where you've really held the pain in, didn't talk to anybody, didn't try to do anything about it. You know, real man stuff. I'm gonna do what men are supposed to do. I'm gonna support this family, not go to therapy, hold it all in. And then one day grab my chest like, and you'll know that maybe we should have left this one argument alone, right? Because I would never fake my death and move to Europe. I've done plenty of things, plenty of dumb things. Sometimes I'm just like having a good day, not really paying attention, and then you come in and you haven't had a good day. So you're telling me all the things that happened in your day that were not good. And instead of listening, I'm just sort of nodding, right? I'm just sort of nodding and being like, Different versions of like tasting something when you're telling me a story. And then you catch on that I'm not listening. So you ask me, what did I just say? And then I say, what did I just say? And you can tell I haven't been listening. And I know I should listen. I know that you're telling me this to vent because you trust me and you want my input on your day, right? I know that I let you down, but you know what I didn't do is fake my death and move to Europe. I'm not saying it makes me a hero, but it definitely stops me from being a villain. Oh, as men, that's one of our favorite things. When you mess up, but then somebody messed up next to you and it's way worse. You know? It's like when you go out to eat, go out to a nice dinner. You know, you take your lady out. And you're having a good time and everything, and then something comes up, maybe it's a little annoying, and maybe you start to like bicker a little bit, you know, just like at the table, in between the server checking on you, just a little bit of like, well, you don't even know what's you know that. Oh yeah, you know that good whispering, you know that. You know that in between your teeth, not here. You know, you got both on edge and everything, so you in between the teeth, and she's over here saying everything, but just at that level of like half miming, half voicing, just like, I'm just trying to keep things together, okay? I'm just trying to keep the whole family together. Server comes up, is like, can I get y'all anything? Oh, no, we're fine. We're fine. It was a good night. How are you doing? How's your night going? And it's tough, you know, because you'll be in the moment just bickering. And then out of nowhere, a couple next to you, the next table over, that haven't been bickering, the couple that you look at like, why can't we be like them? She stands up and she throws wine in his face. And she's like, what do you mean your mistress is pregnant? And now all of a sudden you're like, I'm pretty good, right? Like I'm a pretty good guy, huh? Can you give me that? That I didn't do all that? Like, you got the white wine, you wouldn't have even stained my shirt. Like, I would never put you through that, what those strangers are going through right now. And so it's good. It's good to have a new low as a man. You know I'm telling the truth. You know sooner or later you're gonna be in an argument and you're like, fine, all right, I'm no prize. But I'm here, right? Huh? I'm not in Europe, am I? I talk to you when we have a problem. I talk to you like a man. I don't hide my wallet on the shore. Yeah, this guy apparently faked his death and moved to Europe. And like, there's a lot of layers here. There's a lot of things to unpack, because let's also not pretend that there's never a reason to fake your death. All right, before we pass full judgment, I'm not saying this dude isn't a piece of shit for doing what he did. I'm saying that, like, there are reasons in life to fake your death. I'll go over some of them right now. Y'all look like you don't believe me. That's fine. Okay, back in the day, when I was in Chicago, I was hanging out with some friends. This is like about 5, 6 of us, right? And one of my friends, we're all in our, like, early 20s, by the way. One of our friends bought a yo-yo. And like gentlemen, none of us mentioned it. None of us were like, we are out here trying to get the ladies and you brought a yo-yo. You bringing the whole vibe down. And he brought his yo-yo and he was doing all the tricks. You know what I mean? You know, making it sleep and then popping it back up like a superpower. You know what I'm talking about? Those like... Because he had the one that had the like little acrylic... with the lights, yes. It had the lights. And the little acrylic sound like it would do the like when it was at the bottom. And if you ever want to hear the sound of women leaving, it's that. And so he's like, and then he was doing around the world, and he was doing all the like walk the dogs and stuff like that. He was really good if you were 15. And so then, you know, he finally does one, and it comes back to shoot up, but it passes his hand and it hits him in the face, right? And he's hurt. Okay, you ever been hurt so bad that you couldn't make noise? It hit him, right? And instead of even screaming, he just was like, oh. It's that hurt where you just have to slap something to like transfer some of the hurt while you're hurting. It didn't hit him and fly. It's in his mouth, by the way. Like it's stuck. We're still looking at it. He didn't move it. It's where his mouth should be. It's just a yo-yo, and he's like. And then he spits out the yo-yo, and a tooth flies out with it. And if he had faked his death, I would get it. If he was like, I need to start over from here, I would understand. Like, I really do get it, how people get to that place where they gotta fake their own death. because this was very hurtful and embarrassing. Or just a guy, I saw this guy online, and he had this weird energy about him, and it happens to dudes sometimes, and he was like that dude at the club that shouldn't be at the club, and I don't mean like he's old or something. I mean, he has an unsettling energy where he's trying to be more fun than anyone knows that he is. You know what I mean? You're like, you know that guy that's like, whoa, but it's like no woo is happening. We've all been around that person, like, yeah, and it's like, but it's a barbecue. I don't know why you are trying to bring all this extra. And so that's what he was doing. He was in this club. He's like, yeah, woo, woo, and like, there's not even that many people there, so there's nothing to lay cover. There's not even enough noise for like his energy versus what's actually happening, because people are just kind of casually dancing, and he, yeah, yeah. And then there's a woman that is like near the stairs, right? And I don't know what the stairs lead to, maybe the bathroom or something like that, but this woman is near the stairs, and she's like twerking along the wall, and she's like really got it going, like she's very good, right? And then this guy walks up, and he's like, yeah, yeah, and he like slaps her ass a couple times, and then starts doing this and everything, and then goes to go down the stairs. But then, right as he goes to go down the stairs, his feet give up. His feet decide that they don't want to be a part of him, right? And so, rather than walking down the stairs, this man trips with both his feet. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. This man trips with both his feet and then rides just his knees and shins down the stairs. And when I say rides, I mean, like, have you ever been on a sled? It's like that. It's exactly like that, but without the sled. He's just riding down, Home Alone style, just... And he's screaming, and you can barely hear him scream because the music is loud, but he's screaming so because he's riding his knees and shins down every step. They did not miss a step. Every knee hit every stair, and his shins hit all of the stairs. And so he's like, like a bird, right? Screaming like a bird the entire way down. He hits every step. And for some reason, I don't know why he thought it would help, but he's holding the handrail the whole time. And he's like, And if that guy faked his death, you would get it. You would be like, yeah, you gotta start over. You gotta start, I would say move to a place that doesn't even have music. Like, you gotta do some different things. Move to a plateau. That's the type of... Don't even have any elevation where you live, because what if you have to go upstairs again? We don't know if you'll make it down. When I was growing up, I knew a kid who was dating someone for a long time. They started dating young, right? And it was very sweet. And it was in the same, how do you put this? It was in the same way that, like, you hear grandparents tell stories about falling in love, is how he fell in love. Because he said early on, I'm gonna marry this girl, right? And he had to have been like 18, something like that. I'm gonna marry this girl. He said it early, right? And he did the thing that we look at as like the most romantic thing possible, buys a ring within a year, but doesn't do anything with, waits years. I bought the ring when I was 19. We're dating, we're 23. I bought the ring years ago because I was sure, I know, right? And, they have their little fights and stuff like that. They have little spats and stuff. But then one day, he decides, like, yeah, this is it. And he takes her on a trip, right? And they go on a trip that's like kind of the woods. I don't know. They rented a cabin. But they have their little fights on the way and everything. And overall, it's a nice time, They cook. They watch a movie and everything, and he decides he's gonna propose to her while they're sitting on the couch when they get done watching one of her favorite movies. They both cooked, But then he had a cupcake. He put the ring in the cupcake, and they were going to share a cupcake. And whenever she got to the middle, that's where the ring would be, he would ask her, right? And he had the whole thing planned out. And he even had his speech planned out per bite, because he was going to take these little bites and then, bite, 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 ring, right? And so he starts it, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Takes a little bite, passes it to her. And she's like, what? Takes a big bite. To say they're supposed to be sharing takes an inconsiderate bite. Like this, like when you're a couple and you order something and they're like, can I have a little bit of yours? And you're like, sure. And then they slide a whole more than a little off your plate onto their plate. And you're like, you should have said half then. If you want half, say half. Don't say a little bit when you know it's half. Because you like my orders because I know how to order. You over here experimenting, trying to have an experience, and then you don't like what you got. Now you want half of what I have, which would normally be fine, but you said a little bit. If you said split, then we good. You say split, then we're splitting. That's what half is, splitting. You said a little bit, and now I don't even know what it tastes like because you didn't pick up, because mine came first and you went ahead and picked off mine, then took half when you got yours. So now I've had at least a seventh of the meal that I ordered that I think is good, but I don't remember how it tastes because it just sort of left my memory so fast. And so she's taking these big bites, so he got to take smaller bites, and he got to turn the cupcake when he passes it back to her to make sure her bites don't interfere with his speech, because now he got to hurry up the speech because the bites are too big. And so now he handing her the thing from the bottom, just bite this part. I'm almost done. And when he hands her what's basically a ring covered in a little bit of cupcake to try to bite, at the same time that he says, will you marry me, she says, I think we should break up. And so if you want to fake your death, that's kind of like the opportune moment to be like, oh, yeah, you want to break up, and I'll be right back. And then just move to Europe, I suppose. But yeah, so this dude in Wisconsin faked his death, maybe moved to Europe, and the way he did it, this is my thing, okay. So, first of all, he goes on a kayaking trip alone, right? Which, to be fair, is very much missing activity. You know what I mean? That should actually be in the brochure. Hey, do you want to get away from everything forever? Come kayaking by yourself. This dude goes kayaking by himself, actually texts his wife on the 11th, and it's like, hey, heading back, whatever, right? But then doesn't head back. On the 12th is when he supposedly would have capsized, or, they think he may have drowned or something like that. They put on this whole search because by the 13th, his family hasn't heard from him. They're concerned, right? So they send out the search, and a search of volunteers who search acres and search the water. They use sonar. They use all this technology to try to find this dude. And there's actually a dude that works with the organization that does the searching that tells the sheriff, hey, listen, this is weird. Because I'm not saying if I can't find him, he can't be found. I'm just saying I'm pretty good at what I do. And he either not in this water or he went missing somewhere else, because I know what I do. I'm very good at this. And we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing any signs, anything. And then, sure enough, they decide to go ahead and look into a possibility of him maybe going missing somewhere else. They also run his name just to make sure, right? And when they run his name, they find that he went to Canada on the 13th, right? So, not missing, using his name, running his name so they can travel, maybe go to Europe through Canada, right? And this is where it starts to be clear that he does not know how to disappear. This is where it's clear he's watched a lot of TV but has not put in the work, because this is what this bonehead did. Okay, so basically, this man said This man said that his passport was lost because his passport's at home, right? Because I've disappeared, I'm missing, I might have died, right? But his passport's at home. What he did was he just put in for a new passport so that he'd have a passport to leave behind and to use. The only problem is that when they run your name, it's still you. What kind of dumb spy move is that? That's still your name. That's like getting pulled over and handing the cop a fake ID. You still in the car. Like this. And then his wife goes through his computer and stuff, and they find everything. They basically find where this dude has like looked up how to exchange money into a foreign bank. He's looked up how to travel, how to disappear. And this is my worry. I have the feeling that this dude thought that he covered all his tracks because he put everything in the recycle bin. And then left it there. Like that, I genuinely think that's what happened. I think this dude was just moving files like, and they'll never catch me. I'm a mastermind. It's painful, right? So they find everything, and then his wife gives it to the police and stuff, and the police are like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty dumb, They even find where he took out a life insurance policy for like, I think $375,000, something like that. And this moment was where I had a journey in how I felt about this dude. Because initially when I heard it, I was like, what a terrible person, right? But then when I heard about the life insurance policy, I was like, wait, maybe I'm judging too quickly. Because if this dude is leaving a life insurance policy for his family, maybe he's just trying to make a clean break. Maybe this dude is like, look. I'm not a good father anyway. Let's at least part ways like this. Let me go ahead and get you some money for your trouble, and I'll go and I'll live in Europe and everything. Most dads leave for free. This dude, there's a high likelihood that this dude was like, let me break you off some bread, right? I'm gonna start a new life. You could go through college for free. And then I saw what it doesn't look like he's tried to claim the life insurance policy, which would also be insane. That would be, I don't know much about insurance, and I don't like insurance companies, but that would be hella out of pocket to show up and be like, y'all, I died. I'd like the money from me dying, please. See, the policy says right here, if I died, this is how much whoever gets, and whoever is me and I died. So can you please make the check out to me? And so then I went back and forth. I was like, oh, maybe. No, actually, no, he's just a bad person. Just a bad dude. Faking his death, leaving his wallet, leaving his kayak, leaving his family. And then they find that apparently he's been talking to someone. He didn't just try to leave. Because that's another thing. When I thought he was just trying to leave, I was like, okay. It's not how you handle it. But some people, they have an episode. They're like, I need to get away. I don't know how, But then when I found out, like his family found out, that he left to be with some lover in Uzbekistan. That's also when my feelings sort of went up and down because I was like, oh, you're not even doing it in some like I can't live this life sort of way. You know what I mean? Like you're not having a midlife crisis in that way. You're just trying to cheat. All right, no, I can't get down with this. But a part of me momentarily did feel bad for him because I was like, wait, you met a woman in Uzbekistan. Oh, he's never been catfished before. This is my thing. I don't know if y'all have seen, you don't have to tell me if you know what I'm talking about. We can all just act innocent. But there are, in this world, illicit sites. Illicit sites where you go to watch people the beast with two backs. And then in these sites are ads. Ads for local singles in your area. Or even better, ads for very willing women who would love to marry you in Russia and Uzbekistan. I think my man may have fallen for one of these ads. That or he's been watching too much 90 Day Fiance. Because, I feel like, come on now. How well do you know this person? And so now you faked your death to go to Europe to be with someone who might not even be real. That's wild. You gonna blow up your whole life for some text messages? I mean, really, how good are those texts? You know what I mean? No one found a picture. No one knows what this person looks like. They just know that, someone enticed him in some bad English. And now he's headed over there. And I don't know. I feel like you clearly have to be in a bad place to do something like this. You have a family, you know what I mean? You have people that depend on you, and you're about to throw it all away to go to a place I'm sure you can't spell. Because never forget, this man is an American. That's also what you have to keep in mind here. He over here trying to travel as an American, try to get help in English and stuff. People in Romania speaking Romanian. He doesn't understand it. He's like, I just need to get to Uzbekistan. Do you know how to go left in Europe? Now he gets over there. Who knows what life is waiting for him, you know? I'd like to think that this woman in Uzbekistan really does exist. And she's mad as hell right now. She's like, no, we were supposed to go to America. Are you serious? You can't live with me. Because that's what would be, truly wild. If this dude comes back defeated. Just comes back to his family and is like, listen, y'all, look. I know what I did. I'm very sorry. Can you take me back? I've found, a new life here with you. I just want to be back with my family. Because obviously I hope this doesn't happen. But it would be kind of funny if while he's missing this whole time, he comes back home and his wife kills him. That would that'd be crazy. This dude show back up at his doorstep and his wife already got the shotgun and everything. He's like, baby, no. He's like, baby, I don't talk to ghosts.
I do appreciate how all of you manage to be these international individuals, y'all care about things that are happening in the world, and you consume all this media that is not yours. You don't have to if you don't want to, right? I know that we're right there and we're very loud about it, but if you wanted to put the Sony XM4s on, you could, but y'all keep up with your politics and our politics. We don't even do that. It's pretty wild. I'm sure y'all have seen Mitch McConnell freezing up. If you don't know who Mitch McConnell is, he is the leader of the Republican Party in the States. He's the full-time leader of the Republicans in the Senate, and he's a part-time mime. And I know you're wondering, you're like, how is this happening? We're wondering the same thing. How is this happening? How is this? This is crazy. He's not by himself. Biden's hella old. Trump is hella old. You know, Dianne Feinstein's hella old. We just keep letting older and older people stay in power, and we don't even really know why. I think that mainly there's something to be said for like how fearful Americans are. And so if there's anyone that can offer us any form of stability, we'll take it from them, you know? And that's what you get. You get people who serve 19 terms and everything. Came in. The fact that this man froze while they were asking if he was going to run for re-election, I think that was God answering for him. That's crazy. If you didn't see the video, basically they're like, would you be running for re-election? And then he went, huh. He looked, for a split second, he looked just like Jim from The Office. He was like... And then his aide walked up and they were like, did you hear him? It's like, hearing's not the problem, ma'am. You know? And there are some people that are like, oh, leave him alone. He's an old man. It's like, all right, well, just because you're old doesn't... Being old isn't a virtue. He was shitty all the way up until then, so... Do you know what I mean? And look, I hope... How do I word this? I hope he's able to maintain his health as well as the first responders from 9/11 that he voted against funding are able to maintain theirs. You know, like, I think that... It's weird. It's an odd thing. It's every time he freezes, he looks like he looks like he's seeing. It looks like he's seeing all the black people he ever tried to stop from voting. Like it's like they're just in the room with him. He's like, huh. That is a lot. I know you're wondering, how did this happen? How did we get here? How do we end up staying here? Because he's not the only one. I'm not even picking on Republicans, really. There's old Democrats. There's Democrats that you're like, how is this the person? Surely someone else believes what they believe and is like able. Do you know what I mean? Surely, right? And I don't think that the U.S. is just a fearful country. I think that we have this reputation. They talk about how baseball is the great American pastime, but it's not. It isn't. The great American pastime is arguing. We love to argue so much, a lot of people want a redo of the Civil War. Like that's how much we love to argue. And it's not about the candidate. There's nothing so special about McConnell. There's nothing so special about Biden or Trump that they keep being in the position that they're in. It's that we like to argue so much that we do not pay attention until it's too late, right? It doesn't matter, Biden, Trump, whatever. Throw all that stuff out there. You could put one party's candidate as a tomato and one party's candidate as a potato, and we'll still have it out. As dumb as that is, we would still be like, well, I do like potatoes, though. You know? But we don't know. We're very unsure as as a group of people, you know? You watch I'm sure it's terrifying for y'all, because y'all are so close. Like this, you as Canadians must feel how I felt when I lived next door to a drug dealer. Had nothing to do with me. It was none of my business. But I don't know. You'd hear stuff through the wall, and you're like, am I in danger? Like, you even watch from afar the shootings that we have, the school shootings that we have. It's genuinely terrifying. It's terrifying for us, you know? And so many of them happen that there's no keeping up. Like, just within, a week of each other, there was a shooting, there was a hate crime, and then there was a shooting at a school. And you wonder, like, how is this sustainable? Is it possible for it to be sustainable? You know? You take a country that has this much crippling student loan debt, and you carpet bomb it with a bunch of school shootings. It's no wonder we don't like to read. Shit feels dangerous. That's my thing. It's like, I think it's going to change how future generations even talk about school, because there's just so many. It's not this like uncommon occurrence. And like, they don't all make international news, because thank God not 13 kids aren't dying every time, but it's, you know, it is happening. It makes me wonder if 30 years from now, there's going to be a kid who turns to another kid. It's like, hey, him over there, he cold-blooded, got ice in his veins. Be like, what? Him? Yeah, him. What'd he do? It's like, he got a PhD. He went to school every day. He doesn't give a fuck. Been trying to make more friends. This is the thing. When you are young and have a lot of friends, you think that you're good at making friends, but there's a chance that you're not. There's a chance that these friends are just from convenience and proximity, right? Because then when you get older, when you become an adult, you see how hard it is to make friends, you know? It's hard, whether you're trying to date someone or make a friend, it's incredibly difficult to walk up to someone and make something out of thin air. Because that's what you're doing when you're building relationships. And we're not always receptive to it, you know? We think that we're good at making friends. We think we want more friends, but sometimes it's not the day. I got too much on my mind. Or don't talk to me here. Or it's impossible to know. Huh? Like if somebody rolled up to you right now like, damn, man, I like your glasses. I like your hat. What you doing later? You'd be like, get the fuck away from me. I don't know if it's drugs you taking or drugs you need to be taking, but get away from me. I've been trying to make friends. I've been trying to make friends at the gym. Because that way I'll have a spotter, so I won't gym alone. If you don't know what a spotter is a friend who lets you believe in yourself too much. You go to the gym together and you're like, I think I could push 300. And he's like, we'll see. So I did it. I made a friend at the gym. I was working out and I saw this guy, and he basically was on the machine that I needed, so I was sort of waiting around. And have you ever met someone? Have you ever met someone that has been to so much jail they've been to so much jail that they are from jail? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you might be from Toronto, right? You might be from Vancouver. This man was from jail, okay? And you know he was from jail because he was like working out and he was barking in between reps. Like he was like, arr, 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 arr. It's like, okay. And he noticed me sort of lurking around waiting for him to be done on the machine, and he saw me. He was like, you trying to get on this one? I was like, oh, maybe. If that's okay with you. And he's like, let's take turns. I'm like, okay, cool. And so we did. We took turns, and I did my little like, and he did his like, you know what I mean? And then for whatever reason, we just kept working out together. I was like, what workout are you doing? And he told me. And so we took turns for the rest of the time that we were at the gym, and we decided to be gym buddies. And I appreciate this about him. I really do appreciate this, that he did this, that he said this to me, you know, because we exchanged numbers and everything. And before I was about to leave, he was like, look, I got something to tell you. And I was like, oh, what is it? And he was like, I did a little time. Have you ever had someone tell you something that they thought was a secret? But was so painfully obvious, you had to act surprised to not feel rude. So then he said, I do a little time. And I was like, oh, time where? Time like abroad? And he was like, no, the pen. And I was like, oh, yep, fair enough. Okay, I got you. And so we decided to be workout buddies. And next time that we're supposed to meet up, I was late because I got off work late. So now I was heading there. And I'm excited to see my new friend, my new gym buddy, my new spotter. And as soon as I see him, I'm thinking he's going to have a smile on his face, too. This man is pissed, right? I walk up. He's like, where the fuck was you? Okay? I already started working out. I already did chest, already did back, already did stomachs. I was like, do you mean abs? And he's like, that's what I said, nigga, stomachs. I was like, yep, you're right. Apples and oranges. Fair enough. So, you know, we started working out, and it occurred to me that, like, if I really want a friend, the other thing that we do that stops people from being close to us is we, like, have little departments and categories for every friend. And sometimes we try to keep them there, specifically, oh, I want you there. This is as far as I want the friendship to go. And then we wonder why we don't have anybody close to us, because we didn't give at least everyone the chance to maybe be that close person to us. So I was like, if I'm going to be friends with this dude, I got to be his real friend, not just a gym buddy, his real friend, right? Because this is just a personal thing. I'm not trying to put this on anybody, but I genuinely believe that if someone does a crime and they go to jail and then they get out, it should be done. They paid their debt, and now it's time to move on, or else what re-ingratiates them back into society? Why change at all? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to do my best to, like, be his real friend. So I invited him to brunch. And Saturday comes, right? And he shows up to the brunch spot that I picked out, that I told him to come to, with the biggest brown bag I've ever seen in my entire, I didn't even know they made brown bags this big. It was a brown bag, might as well have been a garbage bag. This was crazy big, and it had a huge Tupperware of lasagna in it. And I was like, oh, why'd you bring that? And he's like, it's brunch, isn't it? I was like, yep. But that's why we're here at the brunch restaurant. Like, you didn't have to bring any brunch with you because all the brunch is inside. I didn't know. And he's like, that's not what you said. I'm like, I understand. I didn't tell you not to bring anything. That's my bad. I didn't realize I needed to say, don't bring, all the brunch will be inside when we get there. And he's like, but it's brunch. And I was like, oh, yeah, you keep saying that, and I don't know what you mean. He's like, it's brunch. I brought my lunch. I was like, oh, this dude went to jail before brunch was invented. Okay. Cool. But my man loves $13 mimosas. I know because I was paying. After he finished one, he's like, let's get another one. I was like, well, let's implies both, but yeah, whatever. Okay. But it's great. It's a great friendship to have because honestly, this dude, I can't say this like as a blanket statement, but I will say if it's possible, you know, one of the things I think that makes society better and would help in reingratiating these people back into society is if everybody had a friend who had been to jail. Because I will say this, a friend who's been to jail knows exactly when to leave a party. I went to a party this dude invited me to. I'm there for 12 minutes. And he's like, we need to get out of here. And I was like, oh, okay. And the next day, I saw that party on the news. I was like, wow, he could smell it coming.
I feel very, very blessed to be here with all of you. I've been very excited to come here. It's a blessing for us to all be together, you know? Some people couldn't be here. Some people didn't wake up today.
What I just said could apply to anyone. If you haven't heard, OJ has passed. Yeah, you can tell by the. You can just tell. Okay, this. You can tell by the excitement that some people have how they felt during the trial. Do you know what I mean? There's a couple people that have been so happy, I'm like, oh, I know where you stood back in the day. Wow. Okay. There are people out here, finally got him, you know. Which is crazy, because when you look at like OJ's feed when he was posting, there had been this rumor that he was actually in hospice care earlier this year, and then there's a video of him in his car, which someone is obviously filming the video, and he rolls down the window and everything, and he's like, hospice? Hospice? Me? No, I'm doing very well. And so if he was doing very well, and now he's dead. Do you think somebody... I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of funny. You know? It just feels a bit weird, you know what I mean? Like he just seemed like one of those people that would just be around forever. Not in a way that I'm like, oh, I'm excited that he's around. Just like every once in a while you would see a tweet from him or you'd see something and you'd be like, oh yeah, OJ is out.
Yeah, I mean, and I say out because he did go to jail, just not for the thing we know him for. That's my biggest disappointment with OJ. You think after getting away with murder, you lay low. You know what I mean? Like, this is the time to play it cool, okay? You just got away with the most public we've ever seen. Like, the whole nation was watching, and then they said not guilty. And then you were like, let's roll the dice again.
But now, yeah, now he's gone. And it's gotta be weird. Like him and Nicole are gonna have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm joking. They definitely didn't go to the same place.
I've had like a journey on the internet as far as having it, right? Because I pretty much got internet the way that we have it now, and it wasn't even the way that we have it now when I was little. I got internet in like a all access type of way when I was like 11. So I was little, but there weren't things that I had before me. Like before, if you went back further than that, you'd have to like know how to code and stuff. 11 was when I could like get on the internet and type in boobs.com. And it's the internet has brought so many people together in the best and worst of ways, right? Because it used to be, before the internet, if you wanted community, you had to go out, you had to find your sort of like tribe of people, but on a more mindful level, you had to find your people, right? And it was very hard. It was very hard for a lot of people with specific interests, and it was very hard for a lot of people who were struggling with specific things. That's why it's like from 2000 and on that like every type of struggle, it feels like, is known and talked about. Because, yeah, you might have a bunch of friends who have just never been through the thing that you've been through, but now that you can look it up, now that you can find people. And so message boards took off. Message boards were like this forum for everyone that believed in or liked the same thing. It was instant common ground, you know? And it was before the sort of like platforms, really. So you didn't have to worry, like if you were on a forum about a video game that you liked, you didn't have to worry about anybody making fun of you for liking the video game. It's why we're all here. Mm-hmm. And so there was this real community that started up. And it's tough when you're a kid because you're so alone when you're a kid in a very specific way. Because as a teenager, you're going through all the things teenagers go through, but you're going through them specifically as you. So no one knows what it's like to be you exactly. And so you do feel alone, even if you're surrounded by people. But sometimes, because you can impose so much on this faceless type, this faceless text, you feel like the people on the forum get you. And so then you feel like, okay, if people get me, I must not be crazy. If people get me, I must not be completely wrong in who I am, right? And that's pretty much how you get incels. Do you know what I mean? Because this is the thing. This is one of the wildest things about incels I don't think anybody talks about. Incels, at least in their thinking, is actually weirdly, counterintuitively, quite reasonable. Because incels are like, no one wants to fuck me. And then the world is like, yeah. It's actually the dudes who are incels that go out and try every night that are the delusional ones. Like, all right, I've been striking out 600 days in a row, but tonight is my night. I put on extra cologne, so I know that the ladies will be all over me. Oh, it feels weird. Even the lore of how things get started. Like I'm telling you what I heard. I don't know the full
ins and outs of this thing. I'm just telling you the way that I heard it, which to me makes sense. Okay, so to the best of my knowledge from the stories that I've heard, one thing that I do find funny, and it's actually the same thing as like how cults start a little bit. So way back in the day, still in kind of the forum era, but we were starting to have social platforms where like anybody could get on. There were these guys who were all divorced, right? Like by and large divorced, or were not married but like had some sort of weird situation that couldn't see their kids, you know? And so then they banded together because it's a very specific pain, I would imagine, to not be able to see your kid as a dad. Because by and large, maybe because so many of us did do it this way, it feels more reasonable to do it this way. But a lot of people feel like, nobody really needs a dad. I'm telling you, a lot of people feel that way, genuinely. And I'm not saying that as in like a judgment on anybody. I'm just saying like, if you're like, oh, my dad left, people are like, what else? Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't carry the weight it would have carried in the 50s. Like, your dad left? You know what I mean? It's like, my dad's not around, and people are like, yeah, so any other revelations? Like, and so I think that sometimes when there's almost an expectation like that, then people who do care, who can't be as involved as they want, feel a very real pain. And they were the only people who understood each other. So they would talk and they would talk and they would talk. And where they messed up, like if I had been there back in the day, if I had been in that forum, what I would have said is like, just careful with the name. The name makes everything. Because then they banded together as like a group, and they were like, let's try to get some laws passed so that we can like see our kids, you know? It feels like family court is against us. And so then they called themselves men's rights activists. And I was like, bruh. You should have said dads. Dude, dads would have cooked. We'd be like, dads that want to see their kids? Protect these men. Protect all 8 of them. You know what I mean? But because they said men, now men who don't even have kids are joining the group. And because people are joining the group, joining the forum that are not there for the specific cause, for the specific reason that they came together over this pain, it starts to morph into something else. So now these guys that are like, I just want to see my kids, are also being like buried in the comments of the forum by people being like, I can't get a date. Like, these bitches crazy, right? And so ironically, a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them, maybe they were angry. Maybe they were going through a divorce. Maybe they were bitter at their ex-wife or women in general for not being able to see their kid. But they could also see what was happening, right? They could see like what this thing was turning into. What used to be a genuine support group is turning into like a weird, it's just a weird hang. Do you know what I mean? Like, you never want to be surrounded by angry men. Even as an angry man. I've been mad as hell before, but anytime too many of my buddies are also mad, I start to calm down. I start to be like, all right, well, we don't want to burn anything down. Feels like y'all want to do something different. Okay. But yeah, it started to happen where like, be like, you know, couldn't get the visitation that I wanted. I feel like the judge hated me when I walked in. And instead of more comments underneath like that, I've had that experience. And don't give up. It's not over. There's always things that you can do. Hey, just try to work it out with her, you know? You can get more visitation with her permission. You know, like things that were genuine support started to be buried by like, man, these bitches want whole meals. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe they want you to take them out and pay. This shit is crazy. And then eventually, some of the, not all, but some of the earliest members of the forum are like, I started this thing because I'm trying to see my kids. And a lot of y'all seem crazy as hell.
and I want to see my kids, so I'm a bounce. And so then, just like that, it was kind of gone. Like the heart of this thing, the reason, the sort of nugget that brought it all together had disappeared. And all that was left was this mob that had gathered with different grievances. You know? And that's how you get red pill stuff today. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing about red pill that's so appealing is that anyone telling you it's not your fault is probably going to get your attention. It's one of the most, it's honestly one of the most appealing arguments someone can make. If you're unhappy with your life and they come to you and they say, hey, none of this is your fault. Even as a defense mechanism, you're like, I'm listening, all right? And even red pill in and of itself is like starting to like eat itself. Because there's no basis around what it's really about. It's not really about community. It starts to just become this weird thing, you know? Like I've heard some of the most insane arguments ever. And I don't even think I'm thinking about the stuff you're thinking about. You're thinking about the surface level. I'm talking about deep. Like when a red pill podcaster really starts to cook. Like, I can't believe y'all out here having kids. That shit, y'all having kids, I don't know. Just something about like you had a daughter? That's gay, dog. Are you serious? You had a daughter? You had a daughter. That shit gay as hell, for real, man. That means you cum girls. Pause, dog. Nah. We ain't doing that over here. Are you serious? But no, when I was a kid, I go over to my buddy's house, and you know, his grandparents had been together for 60 years. That's a long time. 60 years of marriage, by the way, not knowing each other, not being cute. 60 years, right? Their fights were epic. Their fights were amazing. You know, because at 60 years, you let it all out. You know what I mean? Because at 60 years, you just say what's on your mind, because what are they going to do? Leave? Me and my boy be in the other room, and we'd hear, oh, I should have married your brother. You know? And he was like, oh, okay, then my brother want to blow his brains out. All right. Married 60 years. Crazy stuff, right? And basically, his granddad was going deaf very quickly. He was losing his hearing rapidly, but he didn't want to wear hearing aids because he didn't like how they made him feel, right? And I don't mean just the fit in the ear. I mean like he didn't like how he could hear so little naturally, and then he put him in and could hear across the street. Just made him feel like Daredevil without the rest of them. And I remember one time I was hanging out at their house, and we heard his grandma yelling all around the house. And then she came into the room where we were at because his granddad was watching us. And she was like, why won't you just wear some hearing aids, okay? I got to yell your name all through the house. Then I got to yell when I get in the room and I even find you. I'm yelling all the time. Surprised I'm not losing my voice. Why can't you just wear your hearing aids so you can hear me when I'm talking to you? I feel like you don't listen to anything I say because you can't hear me talking to you. And you just saw him slowly start to smile. It's honestly the most boss move I've ever seen in my entire life. This dude was like, I will go deaf if it means I know peace, all right? I have no problem. And one time, I was over at their house, and his grandma was watching us. And we were being quiet. So I don't know if she was saying this to us
or to herself, but out of nowhere, she broke the silence. And she was just like, that nigga hear me.